But one of your first jobs was at a car dealership.
I did. I worked at Wilmington Ford in Wilmington, Massachusetts. I was in charge of odometer recalibrations. That was my area.
Oh,
And
that's not turning back the odometer before you sell it, is it?
yes, that'd be exactly what. Well, actually, a car would come in with 96,000 miles. We would do the corrected mileage 27.5. Have you ever seen a Ferrari with more than 27,500 miles on it? No.
It's a good point.
One, it just makes me laugh. Every single one. Yeah, I looked at one the other day, and it was a 73, and I looked back in one of those Ferrari books, and the same car was listed with 27,005. So it just makes me laugh. Yeah.
But the dealership experience, you said, you realized you couldn't really afford any of the cars by working there. It wasn't going to be, but you were a mechanic at heart. I mean, you weren't an engineer.
You know what I did? I did new car prep. I was mostly
okay,
polishing, cleaning, putting on license plates, maybe doing occasional oil change. So I was a kid in high school, so it was just fun working there and being in that automotive environment. I remember when I worked at Wilmington Ford, it was one of those acres of cars places in the back, and my job every night after work was to go out with a big screwdriver and take off all the hubcaps because kids would steal them because they'd be, and then next morning you have to go with a rubber hammer and put them all back on again. And one night at about 5 o'clock, I was carrying a bunch of hubcaps. I had them all, I was carrying more hubcaps than I should have. And he came around the corner and bumped into the used car manager named Carl. And hubcaps went everywhere. He goes, "You can't treat upright. You're fired." I go, "Well, you bumped into me." And he fired me. I was so ashamed that I got fired. I never told my parents. I pretended to go to work every day. But I wrote a letter to Henry Ford, and I got a list of the board of directors. It wrote to meet your letter. My dad's got a Galaxy. My mom's got a Falcon. I'm saving for a Mustang. I got fired unfairly. My career with Ford Motor Company has been cut short for something I didn't do, blah, blah, blah. So 2 weeks later, Ben Restuccia, the owner of the dealership, called me at home. He said, "Look, I don't know who you know in Detroit, but if you want your job back, come on back." "Oh, okay, great." So
wow.
I never told my parents that story until years later, but it was just funny. So then I felt a certain kinship with at that point. Yeah.
Wow, that's a heck of a story. You wrote a letter to Henry Ford.
Hank the Deuce gave me my job back.
Hank the Deuce, exactly right.